Attention passionate Green Bay Packers fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Green Bay Packers' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Green Bay Packers fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your friends and Green Bay Packers fans. Let's get to the news alright, folks, buckle up because what's happening right now with the Green Bay Packers is nothing short of fascinating. We've seen the team make some bold moves in the 2025 NFL Draft, and it's clear that Brian Gutekunst isn't holding back. The Packers, known for their strategic approach and long-standing tradition of building through the draft, are throwing everything they have at creating a roster that can compete at the highest level. And it's not just about adding depth, it's about reshaping the team's core, especially in the wide receiver room, which has been a topic of discussion among fans and analysts alike. Imagine this. The Packers, in their recent drafts, used some of their top 100 picks on Matthew Golden and Savion Williams. Now, that might seem like a gamble to some, but if you look at the bigger picture, it's a clear statement. Green Bay is testing the idea that having too many talented receivers isn't just a luxury, it's a necessity. They want to ensure that Jordan Love has weapons galore, guys who can step in and produce immediately, especially considering some of the injuries and uncertainties that have been lingering. Christian Watson, for instance, is still working his way back from that injury, and Jaden Reed is on the mend after suffering a broken collarbone. These are key pieces for the offense, and their absence has been felt. So the Packers are trying to hedge that risk by stacking the deck, and that's a smart move in today's NFL. But we're not just talking about the rookies. There's a lot of buzz about what the Packers might do next, potentially making a bold trade that could shake up the entire division. According to reports, Brian Gutekunst might not be done adding to this roster. In fact, there's speculation that the Packers could be making a move for a star wide receiver who could immediately elevate their offense. And the name being floated around is Chris Olave, coming from the New Orleans Saints. Now, this isn't just idle chatter. It's based on credible sources like Matt Verderame from Sports Illustrated, who suggests that Green Bay might part with a top draft pick, possibly a second-rounder, to bring Olave over to Lambeau. Now, for those of you who follow Olave's career closely, you know he's a talented player with a ton of potential. Despite his modest stats this season, 26 catches for 185 yards and just one touchdown, he's shown flashes of brilliance. The problem has been the system in New Orleans, which under Spencer Rattler's quarterbacking and a less-than-stellar offensive line, hasn't really allowed Olave to showcase his true ability. They're trying to get the ball into his hands quickly, but that's not fully utilizing his downfield playmaking skills. That's where Green Bay comes in. Imagine Olave in a more vertical, explosive offense, under the creative guidance of Matt LaFleur. LaFleur's scheming has always been innovative, and with Olave's speed and downfield ability, he could thrive. No longer would Olave be just a secondary option. He'd be a primary target capable of stretching defenses and making big plays. When you add in the fact that the Packers have other talented receivers, like Romeo Doubs, who many expect might be let go in the near future for financial reasons, the addition of Olave starts to make even more sense. Now some might wonder, why spend on a receiver when the team might be losing Doubs? Well, it's all about maximizing the talent at your disposal. Olave, in my opinion, has the highest ceiling of any receiver on the roster right now. His potential is enormous, and the opportunity to acquire him for a second-round pick, likely a late second-rounder, could be one of those shrewd moves that pays off big time. The Saints, on the other hand, are in a tricky spot financially. They're trying to dig out of a deep hole, which makes the idea of trading Olave more feasible for Green Bay in the short term. Plus, Olave is a free agent after the 2026 season, so the Packers could look to lock him down with a new contract if everything goes well. This move would be a clear statement from Gutekunst that the Packers are serious about competing now, and they're willing to make bold moves to do so. It would also send a message to the division, especially to teams like the Detroit Lions and Minnesota Vikings, that Green Bay is not just rebuilding but reloading with high-impact talent. This kind of aggressive approach has been characteristic of Gutekunst's tenure. Remember the trades and draft picks that brought in key players in the past? This could be another chapter in that story, one that defines the Packers' direction for years to come. And let's not forget the bigger picture. The NFC North is shaping up to be one of the most competitive divisions in the NFL. The Lions are on the rise, the Vikings are always a threat, and now with the Packers potentially making a splash move to bring in a player like Olave, the division could see a shift in power. Green Bay's offensive weapons, combined with the development of Jordan Love, could turn this team into a true contender. Love has shown flashes of brilliance this season, and with more weapons at his disposal, he could elevate his game even further, making the Packers a team to watch come playoff time. Now I know some of you might be thinking, well, what about the cap space? How do they afford all of this? That's a good question. The NFL is always a balancing act between cap management and roster building. But with strategic moves, restructures, and perhaps some cuts, Green Bay can create the space needed for adding a player of Olave's caliber. Plus, the potential for a short-term trade makes this even more appealing. The Packers are clearly looking to capitalize, while they still have the chance to make a push for the postseason. What's really exciting about all of this is that it shows how committed the organization is to winning. They're not just settling for mediocrity or incremental improvements. They're aiming high, and that's exactly what fans want to see. The energy around the team is palpable, and moves like these could be the catalyst for a deep playoff run. Imagine the possibilities. Jordan Love with a true game-changer like Olave stretching the field, forcing defenses to respect the vertical threat, opening up lanes for other receivers and the running game. That's the kind of offensive dynamism that can turn a good team into a great one. And of course, it's not just about immediate success. Building a roster with high-ceiling players like Olave is also about laying the foundation for sustained excellence. The Packers have a proud history of drafting and developing talent, and this move could be another step in that legacy. They're looking for players who can grow with the team, who can be cornerstones for years to come. Olave fits that mold perfectly: young, talented, and with a lot of room to develop. Of course, nothing is certain until the deal is finalized, but all signs point to a very real possibility that Green Bay is about to make a bold statement. Whether they pull the trigger before the trade deadline or wait until the offseason, the message is clear. The Packers are all in for another Super Bowl run, and they're willing to make bold moves to get there. It's an exciting time to be a Green Bay fan, and the future looks brighter than ever. The team's recent draft strategy, combined with the potential trade for Olave, signals a new era, one where the Packers aren't just trying to compete, but trying to dominate. So what do you, the loyal fans, think about all this? Do you believe that adding Olave would be the missing piece for the Packers? Are you excited about the direction the team is heading? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, because your opinion really matters. I love hearing from you, and I'll definitely be back soon with more updates, analysis, and news about the Green Bay Packers. Make sure to stay tuned, stay passionate, and let's keep the conversation going. The next chapter for Green Bay is just around the corner, and it's shaping up to be one of the most thrilling periods in recent franchise history. Thanks for watching, and as always, go Pack Go!